she's pairing her channels. I don't know if she's going to pop on with us or not, but she is pairing the channels. So we're good. Thank you, sweetie. Um, so really support. Okay. It's about support. Spend your dollars with people that really need the money. God knows we love Beyonce, but I'm sure there's someone within your circle or someone you've met that might have some hair care products that is a small business that could use your, you know, Beyonce's a billionaire. I'm not saying she can't use the money, but you know what I mean. Just support. Just support. Um just try. Just try. Ralph said daddy's home.
Every time he says it, I laugh.
Who's your daddy?
Love you too, boo boo. Mwah.
Who's your daddy? So tonight we do have a great topic, but once again, wanted to give a shout out to Mistress Urban and her team. Absolutely wonderful event, and like I said, if you missed it, you shouldn't have. Um, you should have. It was a lot of fun, and make sure that you guys support, just support. And it, even if it's a posting or passing on the information to someone else that might be interested, or actually buying a ticket, or buying someone else a ticket that might want to go and may not have the funds, but you do have the funds and maybe you can't make it. um help somebody go to some of these events and support them. So just throwing that out there. Just throwing it out there for you. So I want to definitely give that shout out. And then there was the eclipse here today. I'm sure everyone has heard about the eclipse. The solar eclipse took place, and Cleveland was kind of like one of the meccas of it. And we did not disappoint. It was a little cloudy, but we had a great, great time with everybody in town for the eclipse. We had
Or as
everyone
I
here
call it,
for
the Apocalypse Junior.
I saw. Yeah, the world didn't end. I just want everybody to know
It did.
that the world
It
did.
did.
Everybody's still here. Um,
No one was caught up in the rapture.
right, right.
You're a zombie now, so you're a zombie that can tell us. So zombies don't have brains and wouldn't be able to tell us that they're a zombie. So
Yeah, but it was really, I was out driving in it. I picked up a passenger, and so I got to give a shout out to Mike. We had a great conversation and we drove through this fantastic moment. It was really, really interesting. It was really interesting to watch it be daylight, then all of a sudden the street lights start coming on. And but the crazy thing I wanted to share, and Siren, I know that you can identify with this, is about maybe, I'd say, I don't know, anywhere between 30 to 15 minutes before the actual eclipse started, I had the worst headache come across, and it went across my head. It started on this side and it went across my head. I got nauseated, and it was just a crazy, I mean, all of this was all of a sudden, because I was fine. And then all of a sudden, I got nauseated and I had this headache, and it just went from here, it went like right in my eye and just went like this, just up, and then it was gone. Then the eclipse happened. And towards the end of the eclipse, I still haven't quite got back all of my hearing in this ear. All of a sudden, I couldn't hear in this ear. It came back, most of it's come back, but I can still tell. You know how it's got that, feels like there's water in it kind of feeling.
hmm
No water in it, and I got the goosey bumpies, and it was just nuts. I was like, my
now,
sister. says, "I'm in tune." I was in tune.
Mm-hmm.
How rather I got in tune with the eclipse. I'm like, "What the hell?"
Well, we all are. We all are. That's just the nature of where we live on this rock that we call Earth and how it reacts and responds to. But where I am is 2 hours behind Central, 3 hours behind you. So this morning, when the sun rises, it rises kind of weird. It was as though, like, because normally about 6 o'clock in the morning, the sun is pretty much rising. There's daylight through my blinds. I can see that it's light outside, but it's not like shining, shining, shining. Around 7:30, around 7:30 is when you get that real shine. For some reason, this morning about 6:45, 6:50, that bitch was so bright. We was like, and my girl Cash, she hit me like, yo, I have the. She said the exact same thing you said. I got the worst headache. Like, this is not cute. And I'm like, and I go out and I'm looking at, I'm like, why in the heck is this shit so fucking bright? It was almost like the exact opposite of when we had the other one where shit got like, it almost looked like it was like an ND filter over it.
Mhm.
So it was just like a tint that didn't feel natural. It was like something like somebody had sunglasses over the sun. That's what it felt like several months ago when we had that one. This one was like, hi. The sun was just like, hey, I'm here all of a sudden. Why are you here right now? So yeah, as far as that, and then throwing it off, and yeah, it was very, very bright, thus making it was very hard to even be outside
Mhm.
because it was just too much on the eyes, which of course affects the head and everything else. But yeah, all of this stuff today, I'm kind of happy that everything has now kind of died down a little bit, so we can try to get things back into the where it's supposed to be. Because yeah, with
Oh yeah, our city has gone nuts. Cleveland has lost its ever loving mind as far as the people that, I mean, like I said, we had the women's NCAA Final Four. They
mhm.
started rolling in Wednesday. Wednesday.
Congratulations to Don Staley and her team. I don't know the name of the team because I don't really follow it like that, but congrats to her and her team.
And then we had the eclipse was next, and then they had to push back. Today was opening day for the Indians.
Oh, so
Um,
that was a lot happening.
yeah, there is a lot going on, and I didn't realize how much media was here. I had no idea. They were down by the stadium, down by the lake, down by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and NASA gave out like bags and like some little swag bags and things. So it was really kind of cool. I mean, um, we started out with rain early this morning. That cleared out. We did have some cloud cover, so it wasn't super clear like they were hoping, but it wasn't. It was noticeable. I mean, it was enough. It was like that kind of see-through, kind of thin clouds that we had here. But great time had by all here in Cleveland. And we showed out and showed up and showed out,
And
and
we
it
are
was
all alive to say we saw it.
right. No tidal waves happened and no
No aliens
volcanoes.
came down and captured everyone like nonsense.
Mm-mm.
You got taken up. I feel like we need to lobotomize you to find out exactly what happened.
Nope,
We're
I'm a
gonna lobotomize
zombie.
you first. We got to capture you then. So keep running.
So, if you guys had any kind of weird experiences today, let us know as well, because it was if you were, I mean, it's kind of for some of us, especially myself, this is gonna be it. I doubt I'll see another one. So that was really it was quite fascinating. It was quite cool. So if you guys got a chance to witness history, it's always nice to do that. So
Now
had a
there's
good
another piece of history that they need to witness.
what?
And that another piece of history is called Ebony Erotic Experience 2024, the second coming, the burlesque edition. That is a piece of history that y'all need to see and come to. So JewCee, tell them where they need to be and how they need to find it and what's gonna be there.
Man, you might as well come on back to Cleveland because
Come on,
that's where it's
come
going to
on,
be.
Lee,
This
because
is
I'm
now
coming.
the happening place. This is the happening place. We're going to be in Cleveland, Ohio, April 26th and 27th. It goes down. The ladies of the Erotic 7 will be hosting the Ebony Erotic Experience, the Second Coming Burlesque Edition. On hand as our featured special guests, we have Lady V and D Black. They'll be doing face sitting and talking about swinging. So, for our swingers or people that are interested in getting into that lifestyle, we have a wonderful couple that will be able to share some wonderful information with all of you. We have Roxy on the pole that's coming in. She is one of the top female entertainers in the Midwest, and she's bringing the pole with her. So we're going to be doing some pole dancing classes. So men, ladies, everybody is welcome to jump on that pole. Stretch
I'm
first.
good.
Stretch first. Stretch first. Then we have three of the sexiest voices you ever want to hear for erotic poetry. We have our host all the way from Chicago, Illinois, Mr. Hood raised himself, Mr. Ollie Woods. Then all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio, we have Mr. Romeo Donati. And coming all the way from Barbados, we have the passion poet himself, Mr. Robert Gibson, will be in the house with the poetry. In addition to all of that, we will also be having Yogi Latin joining us. And all I know is there's some nudity involved. That's really all I can tell you. I don't know
Nakedness. Just
anything
say
else.
nakedness.
There'll be some
There you
nakedness
go.
going on there.
Yeah.
So you might want to get your ticket for that. And then, of course, we have the voice
Ooh,
himself, Mr. Lorenzo, and the beautiful goddess herself, Casey Carter, will be in the house with us as well. We will have a dominant panel discussion. We will have erotic poetry going on. We will have burlesque classes going on. We will have food and a cash bar going on. And it's just going to be absolutely wonderful. It is a 2-day event. We start at doors open at 5 p.m. on April the 26th, and it's pretty much a naughty game night Friday night. So we've got some naughty Jenga. We've got something with mattresses. We've got our own dungeon as well that will be held and ran by our beautiful mistress, Miss Purple Rain. She will be handling the dungeon. So any dominants that want to join us most definitely can. Um, and it's a great way for you to learn about the different types of lifestyles that are out there. We are featuring, of course, the three lifestyles: BDSM, swingers, and the poly lifestyle. So those three lifestyles we will really be touching on. There are other lifestyles that we're sure are going to be in the house. There's nothing wrong with that. We will touch on that. We have a panel discussion. We have a dominant discussion so that you can speak to dominance as well as, get some questions answered, learn more about the BDSM lifestyle as well as the swinger lifestyle and the poly lifestyle. So, definitely want to be in the house for this event. Go out to Eventbrite. Your tickets are $225 for 2 nights for a single person. For couples, it's $350 for 2 nights, $125 for Friday night for a single person, and $150 on Saturday night for a single person. So you want to get your tickets. Did I do it all? Yeah, I think I did. I got it in.
mm-hmm.
What is this? Loke in
Low
bed.
in Bedford. Okay, who are you? Facebook user, please let us know your name.
We don't know what that. Yeah, what is Loke? Loke or woke or something. So make sure you get your tickets. Go out to Eventbrite and join us. So tonight we do have a topic. Yes, we do. And we're going to get into that right now. So our first topic is going to be our topic tonight is about relationships and building those relationships. So we talk about relationships a lot, but one thing that we don't talk about is how to build it, how to put it together, how to make it work. Um, we don't talk about the beginning steps anymore. We all kind of try to rush into making our instant grits instead of our slow cooked grits as far as relationships go. So it's really important that we start at the beginning and we talk a little bit about what it takes to put together a really good solid foundation for your relationships. um I was talking about the dungeon. Oh, okay. So this can go for any, I feel this can go for any type of relationship. You have to have a strong foundation. Now, that's in a personal relationship, that's in your relationship with yourself, it's in a friendship, in your work environment relations that you might have. You want to have a very strong foundation. And the first foundation I feel that you need to build is that foundation with yourself. That foundation is the one that needs probably the most work some at times.
And it's the
And for
most
some
important.
people, it really, yeah, it needs to be able to be solid, built out of concrete, not out of sand. And some of us at some point in our lives, there are some cracks that develop in our foundation. And instead of taking the time to repair them, we allow them to grow. And when that happens, needless to say, our self care, our own self preservation is in danger. It's in danger. So it's very important that that first foundation be laid for ourselves. We talk a lot now, whereas we didn't used to, but we talk a lot now more about mental health. And before, saying I had a mental health problem was like super duper taboo. We're sending you to the funny farm, so to speak, if you had a mental issue or mental problem or anything like that. People didn't understand. And I think it's taken a lot of people taking their own lives for people, especially people in the spotlight, um, like Robin Williams. Well, he's one that comes to mind for me, um, as a as, as a person that was well known, funny, but dealing with a darker side, dealing with different things behind closed doors than we were aware of. Um, and for him to hang himself at home says a lot about what was going on with him. Uh, Most recently, we had Twitch take his own life a little over a year ago. We've had different Keith Ledger, we've had different entertainers that we recognize their names and we follow them. And like from even from the TikTok stars, these young folks, the young Miss Americas that you think everything is going their way. They've become Miss America, they now have this great job, but they're still dealing with some demons and or some things on the inside that they don't know how to express, they don't know how to talk about it, they don't know how to um, maybe not even get the help that they need, or especially I find in men, because men, and I think Siren, you can chime in with this, is men don't talk much about their feelings, or they're told not to talk about their feelings.
Yes, they are definitely, but we as a society in this country is told to not talk about your feelings, even though we really want to. We're told that they don't matter, or at least I know my generation, we experienced that. That fuck your feelings, thus making you feel like, well, then if that's the case, then what is there for me to go towards? You also have the fact that this is not, your feelings are not said to be a safe space. It's, we all have feelings. We cannot get away from that. We all have our issues and things that we go through. We all have our own human revolution. Being able to talk about them sometimes absolutely does help.
Mhm.
Being able to feel like I can express them and not feel like I'm being told that how I feel is horrible, is bad, is demonized, and all of that good stuff. No one really wants that. We don't need that. But the reason why we get that is because people don't know how to handle other people's emotions because they don't know how to handle their own. So if you don't have a safe space, how do you expect to create a safe space? If you haven't figured out that you are your own safe space and you are the only one that actually matters in the grand scheme of things, because you're the only one that can feel this. You're the only one that feels your tendons, your sensations, all of this. No one else feels this. And you don't need anyone else to tell you that you're worthy. Understanding and learning that is the best thing that I could have ever done for myself. And I'm still going through it. I'm still on my human revolution of understanding that my worth is based on me and me alone. And damn it, shit. I feel real good about me. I'm feeling real good about me. And I want that for everyone in the way they get it, in the way they have it, their direction and their human revolution. Not the way I need to see it, but how theirs is. So, yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with being confident in who you are. Some people will tell you to dial it back a bit. Some people will tell you you're not doing enough. Some people will tell you, but
That's their
in
mirror.
in the big scheme of things, we all have good days and bad days. All of us do. There's all days when we wake up and, right now I'm battling my hair. Okay. This is my battle. My battle is I'm letting it grow out. I'm ready to cut it because it won't do what I wanted to do. So I feel like if I have a bad hair day, it reflects on me or whatever the case may be, but it doesn't necessarily have to do all of that. Um, And then tomorrow, after I wash it and do something with it or whatever, it looks great. Yay! And then all of a sudden I feel bad. But that's how things can ebbs and ties. That's how things go in real life. And it's how you get through those moments in time because a lot of them are just that. They're just moments. It will really, really tell the tale of where you can go from there. But the first foundation that has to be solid is yours. That's that first foundation. That's that rock that you need to have, because if things are going to go great in a relationship or whether things are going to go bad in a relationship, at the end of the day you're still going to come back to yourself.
Understanding that those things actually do work in your favor. Even though we've been taught that, well, if it looks bad, then it must be bad. What if that bad was meant to protect you from something? Or shall we call it expansive? It expands you. So it's not necessarily that it doesn't feel good in that moment, but how would you know what you do want if you don't know what you don't want?
Hmm.
So if you feel like, oh, this is bad, no, see how that I can actually work for you. It's a different perspective is all you're looking for. But that perspective, just like your higher being, loves you and only wants the best for you. So take that.
Yeah, and it is how it is how you can spin it or how you can make it in your favor. Um, because we all go through some things to get to some things. My foundation, I mean, a lot of people wouldn't have blamed me back in the day if I wasn't sitting here talking to you all because of the stuff that I went through. But my parents had laid a foundation, and it was my choice to honor that laying of foundation that was there. It was my choice. There's some other choices I could have made, y'all. Okay. There's some other choices I could have made. I could not be sitting here talking to you. And there was a lot of people that, oh, well, poor pitiful me. Oh, she's just been through so much. And I still get that to this day. I'm 61, and I'm still treated at times like the baby. you know,
Don't get me started.
and it's okay because I know it comes from love. I get where it comes from now, but it's like I understand there's a lot of people that would not have made it through what I made it through. And I get that, and I understand that part of it. But what I went through wasn't made for everybody else. It was made for me. This was my trial and tribulation. This was mine to hold and support and literally carry it on my back. So your foundation has to be strong. And what I'm realizing and what I'm watching, and this is not every female, this is not every male, but I'm watching some of the conversations. We see a lot of the conversations that go on over the internet. I didn't have the internet growing up, okay? We didn't have social media. We didn't have it at the level that it is now. And it's to the point where in some cases, there's bullying going on, and people's foundations are not strong enough to handle pushing the delete button or the ignore button or not reading every comment. That they're not strong enough to do that, or they simply don't want to do it. They want all of the criticism, or they want what somebody else says. A lot of people are putting a lot of emphasis on what strangers are saying to them, people that they will never, probably, I won't say, I'll just say probably, will never meet. And you're putting so much emphasis on what they have to say to you or about your situation. Um, and we kind of got to change that culture. We don't have some of the things in place that we had growing up. And one of those things that we don't have in place, and what they're really taking away from us, is conflict resolution. We don't have that. And it's kind of weird if you stop and you think about it. Back in the day, these were just things that we just did. Okay. We played kickball. Okay. I played kickball. Did you play kickball?
I did.
Okay. And we got picked for
And
teams
dodgeball, kickball and dodgeball.
and dodgeball. And you got picked for teams, right? And if you sucked,
You got picked last.
you either got picked last or you didn't get picked at all. If you
And
had to play with, if you were really, really bad, we didn't pick you anyway. We just So you did one of two things. You either sat there and cried or you went and got better.
But the people that sat there and cried were apparently a lot louder.
So
And
now,
not saying that you guys are less than. It's just you, because I can't rise to the occasion. I don't want those that can to succeed.
and that's a possibility, but or I cannot see that this is not my thing. As Siren says, this is not my zhuzh. I'm not really, really good at this. I just want to be a part of the in crowd, but I'm
It's
not
not my
really.
ministry, or the church folks say, this is just not my ministry.
It's not my. Let the church say amen.
Just not your ministry.
It just isn't. And that's okay because you might be great at something else.
Oh my goodness.
Can
Could
you
there be?
imagine? You could be great at something else. I was three-time national 1992-95. Just putting it out there. Thank
So
you,
in other
Nod.
words, what he's saying, if y'all was sorry in that dodgeball, he wasn't picking y'all at all. Y'all was just gonna
Right,
sit there,
right, exactly.
and watch the people do what they need to do. Anyway,
And you can learn from that and maybe possibly improve, but this was this was a part of conflict resolution. You didn't go off because you didn't get picked for the dodgeball team, or you didn't get picked for the intramural. This is intramural kickball team. This is after school activity. You didn't go off and then go home and get a gun and shoot up the school
because you couldn't get your way.
because you couldn't get picked. You went home and got your ball.
We got better. We went and got better.
I know I did. I didn't like not getting picked. I understand. I didn't like not. So I went and learned how to pitch.
Oh, I played fast pitch. I started in slow pitch
I
and
started.
thought that I couldn't play fast pitch. And then one day, one of the coaches saw me throw and was like, "Oh, you can do that," and then showed me how to do it and what to do. Okay, I had to get better though.
Hmm.
I didn't come off just being a star. Within about a season, I was hitting grand slams, but I had to work at it. I had to find out what was necessary. What are the plays? What is this? What position am I playing? You got to learn this shit. Some things you just have to learn. It is not going to be given to you. And just because it's not given to you does not mean that you are less than. If you take it as though you're less than, then you get mad at those that can do. Just not for you. Because there's some things that you can do that they can't do.
Exactly. Exactly. But we're not teaching that anymore.
Nope.
We're like, oh, well, Johnny needs to
Competition
play.
based. I feel like we're competition based in regards to, if you don't do this well, then you're not good enough for anything. When it is a thing of no one is good at everything.
And on top of it, when you're and these are the years that you're very impressionable, and a lot of this stuff goes with you as you grow up, and you have to understand that it's these kinds of things, whether it's the competitiveness of you, whether it's being in a team sport, whether it's everybody working together like a tug of rope game or something, whether you're only as strong as your weakest link, so to speak, that thought process, all of this translates into your foundation, into the type of person that you will become, as well as what are your, sorry if you're hearing the noise in the background, I apologize. We have people burning rubber in the middle of the road. They have nothing to do with gas, their gas or their tires. So, and we have to wait for the police.
So,
Yeah, we have to wait for the police to come and get them.
woo, 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 woo.
That'll be the next sound you hear. But or one of them crash. That happens too.
Let's pray. So let's continue.
Yeah, we hope that won't happen. But the thing of it is that we've gotten away from those kinds of things to help build your foundation. Sometimes losing helps you to learn how to win. And I'll say that again.
It does.
Sometimes losing helps you to learn how to win.
Because sometimes just because you win doesn't mean that you're winning properly or that you even know how. You just, if it's given to you, and when it's not given to you, then you turn into one of those little toddlers throwing a tantrum. Well, it wasn't me, so no one. If I can't do it, no one should do it. Go sit the fuck down and get over yourself and understand. Again, just because you can't do that does not make you less than. It's just not your ministry.
And
What you do well.
and
Show that.
a lot of it is, we have to be, it's gotten to the place where we're trying to appease everybody and we're walking on the eggshells, and we're not actually giving our youth the tools that they need to be successful, because we're too busy trying to make everyone happy and give everybody, uh I don't believe in, if you got second place, you don't get the trophy. First place gets the trophy. Second place, thank you for
Get
participating.
a
Maybe
ribbon.
you get the ribbon. Everybody, the first place.
Honestly, I'm with you because when they started doing this whole participation trophy shit, now people just feel entitled for shit that they didn't put energy into. And I'm not saying work into. I said energy. Whether it be you have to be able to understand what this is and implement it first in order for you to be recognized for it or something like that, or whether it be that that's just not for you, you got to go do something else, and then you do that and realize that that's what you're good at, and then hey, now you're getting the recognition that you want. It's not just a, well, I did it so I should be recognized for the fact that I did it. No, you did it. Did you complete it? Did you succeed? Then we can say, hey, they put work in, they did something, it just wasn't, it didn't complete it, and that's okay.
Mhm. And like I said, all of this is to build your foundation. All of this is to build who you are and to find out who you are before you step to someone else. So much when we're talking about it, now we're going to get into like talking about a personal relationship. So many people want to, hey Jasmine. So many people um step into a relationship with the mindset of I and me instead of us and we. And we've talked about that briefly before, but these are the kinds of mindsets that you have when you step into a relationship and then you can't understand why the relationship doesn't work. It doesn't work because you're not ready to think of two people working together, to whether it's to build finances, whether it's to build a household, whether it's to have children, whether it's to have sex, whether it's, and then you want to get upset when things aren't going well as a couple, but you're not willing to say us or we. You're still stuck on I or me. Well, I did this and I did that and I did the other, and I'm doing all of this and I'm doing all of this for you and I'm doing all that for you, and I want my favorite one, of course, that I want that six-figure man.
I do think that there is a space for I,
There
but
is.
but
But it can't take up the whole space.
yeah, that was what I was going. There has to be a balance in that bitch. I swear to goodness. What it is, and this is only from me coming from a person that's been in a relationship for almost 30 years. In the beginning, I thought it was absolutely everything was we, or if I'm honest, I put it as the we was more so him and then me. I put him first. I was back burner. As we've grown, I started realizing that. So where did I? Where? So now where am I? Because I lost myself in only focusing and not being asked to do so. I did that on my own. Now that I found myself, and now I understand that I'm an individual, I understand that we are both individuals that are in a unit. Two individuals in a unit. A lot of the times the church wants to go, you are one. You are one. There is no two. It is one. That is bullshit. You are two individuals that become a unit. That connection is that unit. It still consists of two total individual people. Now, how do you all mesh? How do you all come together with that relationship, relating, which is what you're talking about? How do we do that? You have to know, you need to know. I'm not going to say have to. You need to know, or you should understand and know who the heck you are first. I did not have that, had to figure it out. Thank goodness my partner and I are on the same page where he's doing the same thing that I'm doing. We're both figuring ourselves out. And we're both leaving space for each other to do it. We're relating with our connection is strong enough to where we can do that. Now, if I am an individual and I am confident and I am secure in who I am, and yes, every now and again we will have some things that will shake our faith within ourselves, and that is meant for us to, I'll say what you say, recalibrate
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yourself, so that you know who you are when you show up to be in that unit. Because if you are broken and that person is broken, that does not equal a whole individual, a whole
It
unit.
doesn't,
It
doesn't
doesn't.
work. It doesn't
It
work.
doesn't. That person does not fix you. You don't fix that person.
Mm-mm.
Your foundation as an individual is very much so important so that you can be in a solid connection, a relationship with someone. Because if you are not full, how can if you got an empty cup, how can you pour into somebody else?
Right.
And
Exactly.
vice versa. Because what we tend to do is we tend to expect ourselves from that other individual.
Mm-hmm.
That is not realistic on any level. Well, I would do this and I would do this is what I would do. Are they you?
And that's where that I part comes in. Too much. That's where I. Okay.
When you start projecting yourself onto your
Onto
partner,
somebody
that's
else.
when your I becomes me, and you are
Mm-hmm.
not leaving space for a we to happen between those two needs.
Mm-mm. And you're and a lot of folks, we're getting to the point where, and I know because we're watching social media, we're looking at social media, we're looking at television. I mean, back in the day, we had three channels, and at 11 o'clock, everything went off the air, and you had some kind of screen that went boo. I mean, that was it until 6 o'clock.
That dun, dun, dun,
Right.
dun,
Goodness.
dun, dun, dun,
And
dun, dun,
it's
dun,
time to go to bed.
dun, dun,
Johnny
dun.
Carson goes off, you go to sleep. That's
Man,
it. That was
yes,
it.
I remember
And
that.
you have to understand
Or
nowadays
mash.
we're we are so bombarded with information technology that we have, and we're so bombarded by information that some of this information you also have to understand it's not always good for you as an individual.
It's
It's
entertaining.
just it's just not. Some of it is not good for you. And you have to weed through the good, the bad, and the ugly in order to get to the truth.
Yeah, yeah.
And some of you are not, I understand. I get it. Let's get back to those instant grits. It's so much quicker to just
You
be
know what?
instant.
Hold on, time out. Let's go a little bit deeper. So, for all of us in this erotic world that we absolutely freaking love, porn.
Oh God.
Porn makes you believe that
Mhm.
it's like instant grits. If you just do this, she's gonna start doing this, and when she starts doing that, you're home free, homie. Not understanding that she could be faking, and 9 times out of 10 on porn because it really, honestly, is only entertainment.
I knew that was coming.
She's faking. So, what do you have to do now? Now you really got to actually have some experience. So, what I see, and this is something that I'm computing right now, porn gives you information. All right, you get some information, even though it is only entertainment because it's not real. It's definitely not real because that shit lasts a whole lot longer than what you get. Anyway, You get this information, but do you know how to implement this information?
Mm-mm. I can answer that. No.
So, if you have this information and you don't know how to implement this information, how knowledgeable are you really?
We'll wait.
You
Do,
got to
do, do,
learn.
do.
You have to research. You have to implement things and understand that some things may work 100%. Some things may work 95%. Some things may work 70, 50, 40, 30, 10. You have to assess for yourself, when do you want to, okay, you know what? I might need to rethink, and all right, let's try this again in a different way. Experimentation, that is life. That is life. You
Evolving.
you gotta,
You,
exactly. You're gonna
you
learn some
have
shit.
you
I
have
want to
to
do this, but
evolve.
I want to do this, and then I start going through. I don't like this.
And what you did, we've said this before. What you did in your 20s, you may not do in your 30s. What you did in your 30s, you may not do in your 40s. What you did in your 40s, you may not do in your 50s. It just in some of it you
Evolution.
may do it, but it's changed or it's different, or you've changed your thought process or how you get to what you want to accomplish. But the whole point is that when you're building your foundations and you're building your foundations for your relationships, one of the key things, and we talk about that a lot too on the show, is communicating. You have to be able to do the 3 C's: clear, concise communication. You have to feel that you can communicate with your partner. You have to feel that you can communicate with your friends if that's the relationship that you're working on. You have to feel that you can communicate with your boss if that's what you need to do. You have to find ways to communicate and get across your point, not necessarily in a screaming and yelling manner like a lot of people want to do nowadays. You on 20 and you only need to be on like 2 to talk about something. But you start screaming and hollering at your partner. Let's just say, for example, your partner turn, here you are, no, 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 and your partner goes just like this. And you're still standing there, ah, la, 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 but your partner has
All the way the heck out. All they seeing is this. They're hearing wah 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 wah
Charlie Brown.
wah 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 wah. They ain't hear the words you just said, and you just
Mm-mm.
said a whole lot because your energy was. They were not able to be receptive to your energy.
And people receive
Differently,
information differently.
absolutely. No one is you.
And you need to find, and these are some of the questions that you need to be asking when you get into your relationships. How do you receive information? What's the best way to communicate with you? Is it the cell phone? Is it talking to you face to face? Is it, is it a phone call? Is it an email? There's so many different ways to communicate nowadays. Is it snail mail? Do I need to go to Hallmark and get a card? What makes you receive the information that I am giving you? And a lot of that is, congratulations, Nas. A lot of that is so important that we don't even think about those kinds of things. We don't ask those kinds of questions when we're starting a relationship, because everything is puppy dogs and rainbows.
And it's
And
really not.
then there's things that slip through the crack, and your foundation, instead of it being built on cement, your foundation is built on sand.
Yep.
You haven't asked the block building, relationship building questions that you need to find out. Once again, I believe that Siren puts it the best. What is it about women? What do we do when we're in a atmosphere and we look across the room?
So I see this dude. He just walked in and he fine as all get out. Oh my God, just everything. The teeth is right, the eyes is right, the dress, everything is right. And before I even decide whether I want to even know his name, I done walked up to him, said hello. We done started dating. We done got married, engaged and married, and got had 2.5 kids. We done got divorced and everything else. And I don't even know your name. I done did all of that because that's what we've been indoctrinated to believe we're supposed to do, because we've been indoctrinated to believe our worth is in what a man can bring us. And then you meet that dude and you realize that he is dumb as a box of rocks. No conversation whatsoever.
But he looked good.
Oh my God. And that's the thing that I will admit that sometimes gets me, because I'll admit I'm a very shallow person. I definitely want the aesthetics to be on point. I do. But sometimes when those aesthetics is on point, this ain't always there.
And a lot of times we are
She need to look all that shit though now. So
we are looking at people, or we are going about how we get to know someone, or what we're supposed to have in our life is an antiquated thought process that has been, like Siren said, we've been indoctrinated to believe we can't possibly be whole unless we have another person in our lives. And if you're not married and having children by 40, something's wrong with you. And
if you are not in a monogamous relationship with a person of the opposite sex and you don't have kids by the time you're 30, something is wrong with you.
something is wrong with you. Right? Instead of saying, well, she plays well by herself, or he plays well by himself, or they're happy, they're content, they're successful. They don't necessarily need another person in their lives to validate them or make them feel more than.
And thank you, because the people that want to put that out there, it's like, if that's what you're putting out there, why do you feel some kind of way? Is that you? How did that work for you? Did it really work for you, and you just want to make it look like it worked for you because of societal standards? Life is not one size fits all.
Mm-mm,
Let it go.
mm-mm. And we have to start. And if you are going to be in these relationships, because the divorce rates are up, the killings are up, the abuse is up.
Have we looked at why the marriage rates are up? If we're looking at why the marriage rates are down, why are they up? Why would they be up? They're up because people feel like that's what they're supposed to do, not because that's what they want to do or what they feel like they're supposed to do in their own lives, because they decided that. They're being told by other people that this is what you're supposed to do. And then all of a sudden you sit there and talk, well, the divorce rate is, then why did they get married in the first place?
And they're not getting, and not only that, but when they are getting married, they're not getting the counseling. They're not getting the correct
What is your
counseling.
purpose? What is your
They're not,
purpose?
you're not getting the counseling that you need to make it us and we. You're
I
getting it, you're getting the counseling that is antiquated, and it's more or less about the church. If you're going to a pastor, it's more about how it looks if the two
Yep.
of you don't make it.
And what
um
does it look like to whom? Because that was my situation. As much as, yes, we good. That's my best friend. That's my partner, and we're gonna go through life. But we have our lifestyle and how we live. But we were told that if we weren't married, that one, I was horrible. I was less than, and two, he wasn't. He wasn't a man.
mhm.
And in all actuality, if we never went through that day, I still believe that we would still have the relationship that we have. But they're telling you have to do this, you have to do that, because if you don't do it, then you're damn the hell and all that. Please stop telling people that shit. Stop making people feel like they're supposed to do it because you want them to feel better about your life. Because in all actuality, it was about how our parents and our family felt about us. It had nothing to do with how we felt about each other.
And we've all, a lot of us have been there. A lot of us are still there. A lot of this is still the thought process that is out there. And don't get me wrong, monogamy is great if you're able to work through it and you're able to do it as a couple. Monogamy is fabulous. If you if
That's
you
for you.
have if you have your person, that's absolutely fantastic. And I'm not knocking monogamy at all. If that's the type of relationship you want to have, that's the type of relationship you should have. If it's the type of relationship that you want to work on, because irregardless of whether you cannot stop a man or a woman from looking at another man or
You
looking
cannot
at
stop a
another
person.
woman.
You cannot stop a human being.
You can't
You cannot.
stop
You don't
me.
control nobody but you.
Exactly. So if you're fragile or so fragile, or your foundation is so cracked with insecurities, there's different types of insecurities, there's different types of cracks in your foundation, then you're going to be in a position of pain, whether you want to admit it or not. You're going to be in a position of constantly um, bickering and fighting, and uh, you're going to be in a space that's not happy and not talkative, and you're going to be in a space of I and me, not a space of us and we, and you're not going to be as happy as you could be. You have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And notice I said talk. You can agree to disagree. You can walk away when it gets a little heated and come back to it. But what you can't do is be like, la, 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 because both of you screaming and hollering, somebody's going to tune out.
Yeah.
Somebody is going to, if it gets to the point where verbal abuse is abuse, it doesn't matter. You all think that it's just physical. No, verbal abuse is abuse. When you get to doing this and you do the cycle of abuse, which happens about every quarter, every 2-3 months. Oh, baby, I didn't mean it. Oh, I'm sorry. Blah 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 blah. Yeah yeah. Kissy kissy kissy, and then
The
through
love bombing. The love
it's
bombing.
right. It's good for what, a month and a half, and then it starts to slip in a little bit, and then we right back at the cycle again.
Yep.
Know
Let's see
these
how long this
things.
lasts.
Know these things about your relationship. Know what you're stepping into. Know where the exit is, stage left. Know who you are as a person. Don't think that being in a relationship validates you, because it doesn't. It doesn't make you, if you're not in a relationship, it doesn't make you less than. If you are in a relationship, it doesn't make you more than. It just makes you you.
That part.
And there's nothing wrong with just being you. But I want to give a couple, before we get off of here tonight, I wanted to just give a few tips for a successful, I found there's a lot more that we can definitely go over, but I just wanted to just give a few tips on what you can do as far as helping your relationship to be a little stronger, building that foundation, taking two separate foundations and making them into a foundation that's solid with the two of you. And that might be, you want to practice mindfulness. In a busy week, it's easy to half engage with your romantic partner as you push through to Friday. but try to resist the pull of your phone, computer, or the long to do list in your head. And let's just be honest, guys. A lot of us are always on our phones. We take our phones everywhere. We honestly nowadays we can't do anything without these phones. But what you can do is take some time, whether it's dinner or whether it's a time when you all just come in the house. Maybe you guys arrive home the same time. Put your phones on do not disturb. Find a time when your phones can go on do not disturb every day. Make it a habit and give it a chance for you all to talk to each other. You shouldn't be texting each other or calling each other and you live in the same house or the same apartment, 900 square feet. So take some time, turn off your phones. If it's at night when you go to bed, or put them on low or whatever, or when you're sitting down to dinner, don't take your phones and your iPads to the table. That's a good time to communicate and talk over food. Breaking bread together. Recommit every day. When people think of love, the emotional components of passion and intimacy are often the first to come to mind, but commitment is actually the number one predictor of the relationship satisfaction, especially in long term relationships. So, recommitting yourself each day to your relationship can be something just as simple as a note or a little text. Hey, babe, I was thinking of you. Or something that the two of you maybe you purchase a wonderful little game for couples from JewCee Boutique, and it's 365 days of romance, and you slip a card in your partner's briefcase or in their car on their way to work or something. Just do something to just let your partner know that you're thinking of them and that you're really dedicated to this particular relationship. Um, be playful. Sure, adult life tends to emphasize productivity and seriousness, but sometimes it's about playing. I'm all about that. Playful people take time to prioritize enjoyment, pleasure, amusement, and having fun. And such an orientation in romantic relationships is predictive of satisfaction. So I'm all about that. Like I say, I sell cards and cards, greeting cards, and I also like games, even if it's just a little dice game, something to spice up your relationship a little bit. Um, Reading a book together that's a naughty book or something, just really having some fun with each other. Even if it's not about, eroticism, taking a walk in, taking a walk after dinner together, or just touch is important. So there's so many things that you can do to make things fun. And a pillow fight. Have a pillow fight. Have some fun. And even if you have kids, have a pillow fight and let the kids join in. You can do a lot of different things to really just take out some stress from the day, but have some fun. Now, if you're a little too competitive, watch out. Okay. Watch out. Don't overdo it.
It's supposed to be fun.
Right. Fun. If it's not important, let it go. Okay. In a recent study, researchers asked a sample of divorcees why their marriages failed. Participants cited frequent arguing, which we just talked about, as a major contributor, second only to infidelity. They described how an argument might start around something minor and then escalate into a major fight. Once again, everything is not got to be on 20. Okay. Some things are just a 2. If you feel that you're at a 20, Take a moment, let your partner know, hey,
You are.
look,
I was trying not to do this, but you're officially in the corner now. Let's go to the corner. Continue.
uh, you if your partner, if you're at a 20, tell your partner possibly, we need to talk, but I need to calm down first, and then we need to come back to this. That's okay. That's okay. Take some time, because sometimes if you cool down, you might see things a little differently. You might rethink what you want to say. So it's okay to take a little break. Look, we're gonna I need a few minutes. Give me, a few minutes, and we can come back and talk about this. Take your time to get your thoughts together. Because a lot of times we get to yelling and screaming out of emotion. And I understand sometimes those emotions are provoked. I get it. But try to be in control, because like Siren just said, the only person that you can control is yourself.
Yep.
When there is a conflict, talk it out. Talk. That was the key word in there, talk. Screaming and yelling.
Clear, concise communication.
Communications. Right. Recent research suggests that couples benefit from being flexible in how they respond to conflicts. When couples are navigating serious conflicts, are secure in their relationship and have the ability to adapt their behaviors, being direct and oppositional can actually help more than other approaches. However, a more cooperative, affectionate approach may be the best strategy when someone tends to get defensive or when the conflict is minor. Kind of what we just said a minute ago. Show your love. Routines inevitably become part of the daily lives of a couple. While such research suggests that trying something new and interesting together can be an important way for couples to keep the spark alive, maintaining the romantic side of the partnership can be done in other simple ways too. Give honest compliments, for example. Research shows that compliments, when they're understood to be sincere and meaningful, can have a surprisingly potent benefit to the relationship satisfaction. So those are just a few simple tips that you can take and hopefully incorporate within your relationship, and be the type of person that you want to have your partner respect, care for, and cherish. I'm sorry, they're not going to cherish somebody screaming and hollering at them all the time, ladies and gentlemen. I might love you, I might care about you, but slowly but surely, when you act like that, you start to destroy the foundations that you're trying to build.
Because that means we can't communicate. And if we can't communicate, then we have nothing.
Mhm.
Okay, is this you or me? I don't know. So let's see if we can give her a few seconds. There she goes. There she goes. There she goes. You're back. You're back.
Uh-oh, I froze up. I think
You
we're
did.
still
You're
freezing
good.
up.
You're back
Are
now,
we
though. You're
back?
back.
We're
Yes.
back. I just saw the screen. I just saw Naz's comment. So that's probably why the screen froze.
Right.
So just to kind of wrap this up a little bit, and just, we're not trying to pick on anyone, but we want you just to think a little differently. We just want you we want you to think a little differently, and really try to think before you speak. remember that the relationship is not just about you, but you are now, if you're in a relationship with another person, they have a say, they have feelings, they might say yay and they might say no. They might agree, they may not agree with you. You're in a relationship with another person,
It's a ship. You're both in it
together, sinking or swimming, whatever. What?
together. It's peace together.
Hmm. And everything isn't going to go your
And there it goes
way.
again.
Everything isn't going to go your partner's way. To move I out of the way when you are communicating with your partner, things will be a lot better. If you can sit down and really discuss us and we, build on that foundation, build on the fact that you want to better your relationship, you want to work towards something together. Sometimes, even if you do something together, for example, let's say you're fix let's say you want to fix up a house together. You know, what is it, the DIY, do it yourself kind of thing, the projects that you guys, it's amazing what that can do when the two of you work together on, um, I'm not looking. When the, when the two of you are working together on a project and you complete it together. There's a lot of, we did that in there. Um, do some things, and sometimes you have to do a few things maybe that are outside of your comfort zone. Not, you don't have to do a lot, but you could be supportive. And I one of the things that both of my ex-husbands love to do, and I love to watch them, was roller skate. They could both roller. I can't roller skate to save my life.
I can.
I can ice skate, but I can't roller
That's fine.
skate.
And I can't ice skate.
And neither one of them could ice skate.
Ice skate, yeah.
But I would go and watch them roller skate. Now I could go and, get some snacks, sit down, talk to the food people, and listen to good music. I found a way to make it so that even though I'm not roller skating, I could still support and be there. Now I didn't have to go every week, but once or twice I would go with them.
To show support. Yeah, I get it.
Hmm. So sometimes you just have to find a little something, and you never know. You might start going to something that your significant other does, and you just might enjoy it. You don't know until you try it.
That
Okay.
part. Don't knock it until you try it.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's just a little bit that I wanted to talk about today, on relationships and building your relationships and building that foundation. And that first part of that foundation starts with you. Also, if you are going through any type of mental crisis, we have had up all night right below. You can dial the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. The number is 988. That's all you have to dial. You will reach someone. They will put you in contact with resources that can help you. Um, if you are in an abusive relationship, get the hell out as fast as you can. Call the 988 hotline, and they can help and direct you to, possibly, if you're a female, to a safe house. If you have children, you can get you and your children out of that situation. No one deserves to be abused in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So, Siren, is there anything that you want to add to this topic tonight?
I think we kind of hit it. I know we'll probably do a part two, a part three, because this is always something that we can delve deeper into and things like that. So I'm gonna say just choose you. Be happy with you, truly happy with you and your foundation so that you can be of any good to another foundation.
It's so important. I think a lot of times, and I think that part is not discussed. That part has been missing.
Just
We're
just
so
do it. Just do it, and everything will fall into place. It don't always work like that in the best way.
mm-mm.
You can be proactive, and it's okay.
And if you don't have you together, and this is my personal opinion,
We're freezing. We're
my
freezing. We're freezing. What is your personal opinion?
personal opinion. But if you don't have you
What is
together,
your
and
personal opinion?
here we go, we're back. If you don't have you together, don't step to nobody else.
Oof.
A lot of us know we ain't got our shit together. And we think that we can go step to somebody and they can save us, or they can fix us, or they can make it better.
Sounds good, but no. Put some rice in it. You. Oh Lord, I don't even know what to do with you anymore. So, I
It
think she got frozen
doesn't
just another
work.
again. Are we back yet? Are you here? You know what?
Yep. We're gonna get off of here, guys, because I'm glitching all over the place with our wonderful
Right. Nobody can fix you but you.
um, um,
So we're hearing So you're right. It's the
after
remix.
effects of the
So thank you guys
cutie.
for tuning in tonight. If you don't have your tickets for EEE, please go to Eventbrite. It is Ebony Erotic Experience, the second coming, spelled C. It's the word second coming CUMMING, the burlesque edition. Go get your tickets. It is. I will be there in Cleveland, the 26th and the 27th of this month. So come see us. We have so much in store for you. You do not want to miss it. That comes out very soon, Lorenzo. You will be one of the first to know when that does come out. But because we are having some technical difficulties, I'm going to just go ahead and just go ahead close us out. Again, go get those tickets at Eventbrite. You're going to look up Ebony Erotic Experience, the second coming burlesque edition. Meet me there. All right. So we will see you all next week, back at the same time. Here in West Coast, it's 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, depending on your place. So peace out, y'all.
Bye bye.
Are we still here? I don't know what's happening.